are the biggest differences that you have felt after your return in Piraeus compared to the previous time?
I think it's a completely different situation. The first time I was here, we were kind of in a rebuilding mode, trying to kind of get the old glory back. And so this was a process, and I think now, obviously, after 4 or 5 years, obviously they're back on track, 2 back-to-back Final Fours. Coach has been here a few years now. His system is placed, players have been here, so it's completely different, and I couldn't be more excited to be joining the club at this point, because obviously everything's in a good way.
If the things were better then and were ideal the previous time that you were here, now maybe you wouldn't have a Euroleague trophy. So everything makes for a reason.
Yeah, I'm strong in my faith and a big believer in God, and everything happens for a reason, and you never question the man above. You just, you follow his lead, and obviously my career, my journey up until this point, that's what it's been. It's been a journey, and I've just been very blessed and very fortunate up until this point, and especially obviously last year winning the Euroleague was the highlight of it all.
Why you decided to leave the Euroleague Championship? Because Euroleague Championship is on the top, and now you came in a team that wants to be in the top.
For sure, and I think that this was a big, factor for me. Wanting to, help push a team that, is close, obviously has all the pieces, and to get over that hump. I think Madrid obviously is a great organization. Great talent and stuff like that. But here, I think, I have a chance to, have a greater impact and hopefully, like you said, do something special here that I know the fans and the club has been dying for, and I would love to be a part of that.
Your new teammates, are they tease you after that, what happened previous year?
Yeah, for sure. Teammates, coaches, everyone. It's a little bit awkward for me, but, I just laugh.
The guy who beat us.
Yeah, exactly. But, I go with it. Obviously, I wouldn't trade my EuroLeague trophy in for anything. And so it's all jokes.
I will take you back on time. Your choice to leave Washington and to move to Gonzaga is the most felicity that you have taken, even if you had to redshirt 1 year.
Yeah, it was super difficult. Obviously, now, you look at a lot of freshmen and sophomores in college, and with the numbers that I was averaging at the time, a lot of them would have, entered the NBA draft. But for me, I've always been a person who looks himself in the mirror and, sees where I need to improve. Am I ready for this step or the next step? And at that time, I felt like there was aspects of my game that I needed to sharpen up. And I really wanted to play in the NCAA tournament. I wanted to show that I could lead a team at the college level to the highest, level of college. And again, being able to take Gonzaga to his first ever Final Four and playing in the national championship game, it was worth it. And I did what I set out to do. And after I did that, I took the step to enter the draft, and that led me to my next step. So, it was tough, but for me, at the end of the day, it's always about just making sure I feel ready for that next step.
You are also consistent with your classes, and that's important for the future to be a harmony.
For sure, yeah, no,
it's not also basketball.
No. My parents from an early age, have stressed the importance of being well-rounded, and first and foremost, being a good person, being respectful to everyone you meet, you treat everyone the same. That's, number one. And then, holding the same standards athletically and academically. Obviously this game is great, but we only have so many years to play. You need to be well educated. You need to be able to adapt and learn different things for life after basketball. So definitely something that, I took pride in. There's a saying that how you do something is how you do everything. And everything I do, I try to give my best and try to be the best version of myself. So I definitely carried that mindset into the classroom and also found success there as well.
You are an American. You have played also in NBA, so you can give us a good explanation about this summer wave from the other parts of the ocean to Europe, and some stars have come here. Why this happened?
I think there's a lot of different reasons. I think everyone making an individual decision whether to stay in the NBA or to come to Europe or go from Europe to the NBA. Every situation is different. It's not one reason that, guys are coming. Maybe some guys, have options to play in the NBA but want bigger roles in Europe. Some people just, prefer it over here, or whatever the case may be. So I think that the European level has shown, what a good level it is. Especially you look at the World Championships and the Eurobasket and stuff. And I think people recognize that it's not just the NBA to get that, competitive spirit. You can play high-level basketball all over the world. So I think that has attracted players, to want to come play and want to compete at the highest level.
A recent statement of Karl-Heinz about Euroleague at NBA. Have you seen this?
No, I haven't.
Okay. Has caused a lot of criticism because he said that it's not a big difference between these two levels. And Kevin Durant got mad in Twitter, and he answered to this, and he had a conversation with a basketball fan. What's your opinion? You have played both in both leagues, so you can compare them in a way.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think, obviously it's more competitive just because it's a shorter season. You don't have 82 games, you have 34 games. So obviously when you lessen the games, it makes every game more important. That's just by the numbers, you know what I mean? If we played 82 games, every game probably wouldn't be as competitive either. So I think this is normal, and then obviously the shorter games, the 40-minute games, keeps games more competitive. I think if you look even again at the World Cup, I think if you stretch some of those games from 40 minutes to 48 minutes, it gives the, teams with the more talent, have more time to pull away. But when you shorten the game, it gives anyone a chance to, steal a couple possessions here and ultimately have a chance to win the game. So I think from a competitive standpoint, and then also in the NBA, you have to think that, it's a much larger business. That's why they, have bring in more money. But also that means that there's different agendas. You have certain teams that are building for 3-4 years down the line, and your teams don't do this. Everyone wants to win now. There's pressure to win now from all 18 clubs. And so again, I think to defend Karl-Heinz's statement, this creates a competitive environment. We're not playing for next year or the year after. Everyone wants to win now. So it's super highly competitive. I'm not saying one's better than the other, but I understand what Kyle was saying.
10 years ago, you have won one gold medal with national team of USA in Czech Republic. Have you dreamed that this could happen also with the men's team? And why do you believe that USA it was not in the podium the last two World Cups?
No, honestly, I never dreamt of playing with the U.S. national team men's at the highest level. Obviously, this is an amazing experience, but just not something that I ever really, thought of. And, I think there's a lot of reasons. One, I think, again, that the level of competition across the world is getting closer and closer. I think, the NBA is getting younger, which is, having guys, develop a little bit later. And, I just think that the overall talent level is closing, and I think obviously the European rules are much different than the NBA with the no defensive 3 seconds and the shorter possession, shorter game, as we talked about. And again, this levels the playing field. It's not so much about talent. You have to win on more than just talent. And so I think this is part of the reason.
Have you regretted of coming back to NBA in 2019?
No, I don't regret it. I mean, again, a goal of mine from when I was young was to play in the NBA, and for a kid, from Happy Valley, Oregon, a 6'3" guard, out of all the guards in the world, to sign a standard NBA contract, not a two-way, not, to get a guaranteed deal, was an accomplishment in and of itself. I didn't get the opportunity to play. You don't control that as a player. All I can control is my preparation. Obviously, the management saw enough in me to give me a guaranteed spot. And so for me, that was enough, and it was a lifelong dream to accomplish that. And, I can look and say I did what I set out to do.
Can you see Nigel in the next years to try again to go on the other side of the ocean?
I have honestly, I try not to think too far ahead. I try to stay in the moment. I signed a 2-year contract here at Olympiacos, and I would love nothing more than to win as many titles as possible in the next 2 years. And that's honestly the only thing I'm thinking about. At this point in my career, I'm super happy with where I'm at. I'm super happy with the way my career has gone. My family's in a great position. So, like I said, I'm fully invested in where I am right now. And, who knows what's going to happen in the future.
Coach Bartzokas didn't select to take an American killer that maybe the Olympiacos fans have waited. That means probably that he believes on you, on the team that you have right now, to take also more responsibilities in scoring. Do you feel comfortable with this? Maybe to take the last shot. Are you ready to score more in Olympiacos these years?
Did you see Game 3 at Partizan last year?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think this is the question.
Yeah, no, I mean, my whole career I've took and made big shots, but honestly, I think this is the problem. I think a lot of people consider just being a killer, you know, the guy who's going out and scoring the most points. But to me, being a killer is a guy who impacts winning, and you can impact winning in a multitude of ways. And you can't impact winning just doing one thing. I don't think you can just defend or just score or do one thing. You have to be a well-rounded player and a well-rounded team. And that's what I've always done, and I've had a lot of success in my career, again, helping teams improve it and winning a lot of games. You know, I've won at pretty much every level, and so I know that Coach Bartzokas has confidence in me, and obviously the teammates here who have proven themselves as winners also. And so I think we're all killers, and I think we're ready to, again, go out and try to win another Euroleague title.
Why are you wearing? You have wore the whole career number 0, and now you have the one I suppose for Thomas.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah.
But why you wore number 0 in the whole career?
So I went to Finlay Prep High School in Las Vegas, Nevada. At the time, it was the best high school in the U.S., and I was the only freshman to ever play there. And so I got the last choice of numbers, you know, being the youngest guy, and so all that was left was 0. And I said, you know, I'm kind of going to use this as my starting point. You know, I started from the youngest, the lowest, and I'm going to keep it as I work my way up. So that's why I kept 0 for so long. But I like 1. I think one is a good look.
Last question. From Eddie Tavares to Milutinov and Mustafa Fall, is point guard's life better with these giants?
Yeah, of course, man, of course. When you have bigs like that, offensively, defensively, it makes your job so much easier. You know what I mean? So I've been very fortunate, again, to play with some great bigs. Obviously, Eddie, everyone knows how great he is. And Moose and Milutinov are great as well. So I've been very fortunate to play with some great bigs.